All right, today we are on journal page 23, and you're going to need both a pencil and either a highlighter or a colored marker or a colored matte pencil or a colored pen. Something different from a pencil that stands out a little bit. So if you need to go grab those real quick, I want you to pause this video and push play when you have both of those. All right, so we're going to start looking at algebra, and so we're going to start with what is linear. Now it looks like line ear, and we are going to box the word line in the word linear because it is a graph that makes a line. Graph that makes a straight line. Alright, so this is when you're going to need your highlighter or matte pencil. So we're going to be drawing two graphs here. And so I'm going to take up just about, how many lines is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. I'm going to draw a graph. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to have two of them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw something that is linear. Now I'm going to be, you can use a ruler for this or edge of a paper or whatever. I got a stack of Post-it notes, and I'm going to draw a straight line. Put arrows on it, and I'm going to say this is linear. Because as you can see, it made a straight line with no curves, no bends, versus nonlinear, which we're going to make the letter U. And we're going to say this is nonlinear. For 8th grade math, we are going to be looking at linear. Next year for algebra, you're going to be adding some nonlinear. Now, every now and then we will come back and look at nonlinear a little bit, but you're not going to really learn in-depth about it until next year. So we have linear versus non-linear. Now, when looking at linear graphs, so for linear graphs, we have two different kinds. All right? We have our first kind, which are proportional. Now, if you say, that sounds a little bit familiar, it should, because you learn about proportions in 6th and 7th grade. Now, we don't look too much at proportionals because they expect you to know it. And then the other one is non-proportionals. So they do expect you to know what proportionals are by 8th grade. So we're going to do a little bit of review as we come across them. But another word for a proportional graph is called a direct variation. Now, you did learn about direct variation last year in Ms. Heyman's class. Direct variation. You will see these used interchangeably, and we will use them interchangeably in this class. So, some things about proportional is that it goes through the origin. Goes through the origin. Now that is a great vocabulary word. And origin is the point 0, 0. And you should have some space under that. And this is the last thing we're going to be putting. And you're going to draw another graph. And it can fill up right under there. And we're going to draw a straight line, because it's linear, that goes through that center point. Just like that. And I'm going to draw a line, point, and I'm going to say origin. Origin's where my two axes meet. Alright, So now we're going to look at what non-proportional. So non-proportional, it is only called non-proportional. There is no special name for it. And surprise, surprise, it does not go through the origin. Now it is still linear. It's still part of my linear graphs. Sorry, but it's not going to go through the origin. So I'm going to draw another graph right below it. And this time, I'm going to draw it where it does not go through the origin. And again, I'm going to point to, I'm going to do my origin. I'm going to put a little thing that says, hey, there's my origin. Alright, so we have proportional, also called direct variation, which goes through the origin. And then we have non-proportional that does not go through the origin. Now, we're going to look more at proportional and non-proportional. We're going to be looking at graphs, tables, equations. But for now, we're going to just look at graphs and we're going to compare some. So, slide to the left of page 23. Now, in class, students are going to have these graphs, and I did attach them if you want to print them out and glue them in your journal. But if you can't do that, I understand. If you are someone who really wants a copy of this, then let me know, and I'll leave it in the front office, and your parents can come pick it up. All right, so we're going to draw these since, obviously, not everybody has access to print, so I'm going to draw one right there. And it's going to look like this. And so we're going to talk about, is this proportional or non-proportional? Sounds kind of easy. All we got to think is it a straight line? Yes. Did it go through the origin? Yes. So let's write that. Straight line. Yes. Or through origin. I'll just put through 0, 0. Yes. Then it is. It is proportional. AKA direct variation. Alright, let's look at another one. We're going to draw a graph. Yep, sorry, I was in a video. Sorry about the interruption. I need to come in and clean my room. So what we were doing was we were drawing a second graph. In this graph, I want you to draw it looking like this. Okay. Well, here's my origin. Alright, so let's look. Is it a straight line? Yes, it is a straight line. So that's good. Does it go through the origin? No. So that tells me it is non-proportional. All of a sudden couldn't spell. Alright, let's look at another one. We're going to be drawing 6 graphs on this page to kind of give you an estimate. Should have used a third of the left page. And then, I'll draw another graph, 2 more graphs. I'm going to go ahead and draw this one. This one's going to be a little bit different. Just a little bit. So we're going to draw it like this. And here's my origin. So first question is it a straight line? The answer is yes. Does it go through that origin? It starts at the origin, and so that is good enough for us right now. What this will do is, this is if I was only looking at one quadrant. This actually will continue here, unless it gives us a situation that says otherwise is what we're going to use it as. So we're going to say this is proportional. Also known as direct variation. All right. And our last graph, well, the fourth graph, I'm not saying last graph, is going to look like this. It's going to be really steep going that direction. So if you can mimic that graph, I know it's hard. It's easier if you can actually have the copies of the graphs. Sorry. So, is this a straight line? We're going to say, yes, it is. Does it go through the origin? Go through 0, 0? Yeah. Oh, no. I almost said yes. Because here's my origin. So it is non-proportional. Now, a few things. We are getting into graphs, obviously, and tables. So for those of you at home learning, you're going to have to send me pictures of your graphs, and I'm going to need them to be clear so I can see them. But it is very important that you are using some kind of straight edge. Now, I'm using, as you can see, Post-it notes and just using the edge, which is fine. You can also use a ruler, but you need, when we draw graphs, we do it accurately, and we do it with straight edge. So be sure that you are drawing accurately by using something to help us draw straight. All right, so for the last two graphs, I want you to draw your own proportional one. And I want you to try to make it look different than the ones we've done above. Meaning I don't want it to look identical. So it could be steeper or it can go a different direction. And then this one over here, I want you to do this one non-proportional. And again, I want you to see if you can make it look different than the others. Now, obviously, I can't check yours. If you want to send me a picture so I can check them, that's fine also. If not, then we're going to leave it at that. Tomorrow, we're going to add to our journal again. We're going to be looking at equations and tables and whether they are proportional or not. And then next week, you'll have a homework assignment and a vocab over proportional and non, and then we're going to continue moving into graphs. If you have any questions, as always, send it to me through email. Those of you that are returning to school in the next week or so, I'll see you soon. Good luck, guys.